Anthony, welcome back. Back-to-back NEF shows, going for back-to-back wins. Crushed it in your last fight. Unbelievably crowd-pleasing performance. What's the past few months been like since that win for you? What's training look like in camp in the lead up to this fight?
Yeah, basically just been like the same training regimen. Actually, I mean, I've had a new teammate. We got Artur, who's fighting on the card. He probably came in like right after my last fight, and I say he's been huge with like my wrestling, like wall work and stuff like that. Artur's like really experienced in that stuff, and that's something I didn't really have a lot of guys I could work with, which, like for my fight tomorrow night, I say like is going to pay off huge. This guy's definitely going to try and push me on the cage, and I think just having a teammate that's really experienced in that, just been building off of that from the last fight, and just working with a new guy is always nice too. Having a good teammate to train with for this next fight.
I've had the pleasure of knowing you for well over a year now, giving us so many great fights in the NEF cage. A lot of people don't understand. You turned pro pretty quickly. I believe it was 3 amateur fights you'd had before you turned pro. Two, excuse me. That's an incredible jump, and I know there's been a little bit of learning on the job, and boy, when you ask anyone, they're the first person you point to as an example of your record doesn't reflect how good you are. What's your forecast for the rest of the year, and in terms of the next couple of years? Do you plan to continue to stay this active, and what's the overall goal that's driving you every day?
Yeah, I'd say definitely like my plan is always to stay active, but I think like you say the record like is definitely like if you look at my record and you compare like say another guy who's 2-3, you can't always say like a 2-3 guy is the same as another 2-3 guy. Like I know like the guys I've been in with, I say tomorrow night's like a good redemption for me because this is another undefeated guy who I'm going up against, and is a chance to show that I can beat the prospects that I've gone against and come short against. So it's like it's really I think like you said, what am I looking to do in the future? I think I'm at the point now where my experience is caught up, and it's just going to be catching wins from here, I think.
So let's talk about your opponent tomorrow, Jerry Muse. This guy that's coming off a great win, like you said. He's undefeated. He's a guy that had to take some time off when he was serving in the military, but he's certainly looking to get active again as he has been. What do you see in his game? What did you like about the matchup for you, and how do you see the fight playing out?
Yeah, Jerry's definitely like a tough competitor. I met him like probably last year sometime. I met him at one of the NEF cards. We actually cornered one of our mutual buddy. We both cornered that night, and had some good conversations with him. He seems like a really good guy, a really respectful guy. I figured we probably cross lines. We're both professionals in the same weight class, so I think Jerry has a good style. I think the way people fight him is the wrong way. I think like if you look at his last fight, I think that kid could have won that fight easily on the feet, but he kind of just played into Jerry's game plan, which that's been like the whole thing from my camp is just I set my game plan. I saw my holes with Jerry, and as long as I stick to what I have planned, like I just don't see what way Jerry's going to win the fight. The only way Jerry wins the fight is if I fuck up and I don't stick to my game plan.
Got to ask you too, you're coming up from Massachusetts. You're getting really familiar with the Maine fans now. They're getting very familiar with you. Fighting in front of another sold-out crowd tomorrow night, back at Aura, place where you got started with us. I believe that was your first fight.
Yep.
What are you getting from energy from the Maine fans when you go out there and compete? I mean, that last performance, they were going nuts. And do you feel that growing your fan base here in Maine?
Definitely. I definitely, like the first fight I had up here, I mean, like I'd say probably unless you're like a local regional fan, like I don't think anyone would have known who I was. I was making my pro debut. I made my pro debut against another local guy. I think that definitely plays a role with me building some fans now. Is I'm fighting their local guys who they know are tough guys, and if I'm coming up out of my state to fight them, then the fans have been all respectful, and I always get the messages after the fights too. Everyone's been really cool, like great fight, can't wait to see the next one, and it's a good feeling. It's definitely good, and it makes, like I don't change the way I fight to please anyone, but when the cage locks, you're thinking, all right, these guys are here to see a fight, so you got to give them what they want.
And you do that every time. So last thing before I let you go, when you see the fight in your head playing out tomorrow night with Jerry, again, an undefeated guy,
Yep.
What does that look like? How do you see yourself getting the finish? And what does that mean for the next move if you do finish Jerry Muse tomorrow night?
Yeah, I haven't really thought about how I'm going to win the fight. I just know how I'm going to win the fight. I know what's going to lead to the victory. I think Jerry's going to get really frustrated on the feet. He's going to be he's not a very comfortable guy on the feet to begin with. Like from my eye, from what I've seen, I think he likes to rest on the feet a lot. And if you look at the way I fight, he's not going to be able to rest for a second, which I think he's going to be really trying to push me on the cage and really trying to get me down. And I expect that'll probably wear him out. And I think within the second round, I'll be taking over, and it'll show. He's going to be feeling the pressure I put on from the first round. And I think second round we'll start breaking him and start picking up the pace and looking for a finish and a good performance.